KUAM for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads up, Guam. IP&E Fueling Excellence. McDonald's of Guam. I'm Loving It. And King's Restaurant. Always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Starting now on Prime Time, Guam has marked its third traffic-related fatality of the year 2020. Plus, we'll tell you how millions of dollars earmarked for deficit reduction will be affected by the coronavirus scare. And an info briefing regarding the problems with GovGuam's health insurance is set for tomorrow. Holiday friends, and good evening. Thanks so much for streaming us anywhere in the world on Facebook. I'm Jason Salas. These are tonight's top stories. Well, the Guam Police Department are investigating the island's third traffic-related fatality of the year. Sabrina Salas-Matanani has our lead story.
Guam Fire and Guam Police got the call around 3:30 Thursday morning, a two-car crash along Marine Corps Drive in Upper Tuman.
Now, the preliminary report suggests that a Mitsubishi Outlander was executing a left turn from Santos Hill onto Marine Corps Drive when a Toyota Yaris was traveling southbound, collided with the Mitsubishi Outlander.
Police spokesperson Paul Tapau confirms firefighters had to use the jaws of life to extricate the 4 passengers that were trapped inside the Yaris.
Now, one of the occupants was noted to be lifeless and unresponsive. CPR was performed on this individual as he was being transported to Guam Regional Medical City for treatment and care.
The occupant was pronounced deceased by attending physicians. This marks the third traffic-related fatality of the year. Tapau says investigators are looking into what caused the crash, including whether speed, alcohol, or drugs played a factor.
The Guam Police Department continues to ask the community to please adhere to all rules and regulations pertaining to the roadways of Guam. Should anybody decide to celebrate, please designate a responsible sober driver while consuming alcohol or indulging in recreational use of cannabis.
Tapau also warns that GPD will be conducting DWI checkpoints throughout the remainder of this month and throughout March. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
In other island news headlines tonight, the administration acknowledged today that it may have to shift plans in response to the coronavirus scare and the subsequent downturn in visitor arrivals. The governor says some $22 million that was previously earmarked for deficit reduction will have to be used to address any revenue shortfalls. Our next report is with Nestor Lecanto.
There have already been more than 15,000 visitor cancellations, which will cost the government almost $900,000 in hotel occupancy tax alone. So the plan, says Governor Leon Guerrero,
the revenues that we've collected that is beyond what the projected revenues is for 2019, I want to put those in reserves. And by law, for 2020, we do have a rainy day fund of about 2%. And so we're doing that. And that, to me, is the method and the strategy that we should use. Put away the monies that we have collected for crisis situations like this. There is concern, absolutely, and we're doing everything we can to help mitigate the economic impact.
But business groups like the Chamber of Commerce might disagree. They've asked twice now for the government's help by delaying the March 1st implementation of a new 50-cent increase in the minimum wage. But there appears to be little support for that in both the administration and the legislature. Wage hike sponsor Senator Joe San Agustin and Speaker Tina Barnes say a delay is not likely. And the governor says even if one were to pass, she would veto it.
The other thing that's not being discussed here is you are giving them more buying power through increasing their minimum wage. And so that only just, I think, makes a positive impact in the economy.
Out of the 60,000 employees in Guam, we're only impacting 3,000. Let's see what the impact would be, and then we measure from there. But to say it, 2 weeks out? No, not enough time. There's not enough numbers to prove that we need it. We need a minimum. Now, after the implementation of the first phase, if the numbers change, then maybe, and more than likely, we'll introduce maybe an amendment to the law to delay the second phase.
I have a plan, a middle ground that we can work with, and let's exhaust every option first before we take from the viability of our people who literally have to work 2 to 3 jobs to make a livelihood for their family. And before we put any moratorium, let's exhaust all our avenues.
The governor has also said that another frequent call by the business community to roll back the business privilege tax will cost too much in revenue and will not be considered. The chamber has warned that if current visitor cancellations continue, tourism industry employees could see as much as a 33% drop in income as companies are forced to cut costs. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Thanks so much, Nestor. For the time being, Senator San Agustin has established a bipartisan public-private advisory commission with which to explore government reorganization and find ways to cut costs. We'll have more on that on tomorrow night's show. Also tonight, a call for policymakers and staffers to fully justify their off-island travel has sparked a terse rebuttal from Rules Committee Chairperson Senator Regine Bisco-Lee. Colleague Senator Jim Moylan wants travelers to explain how their taxpayer-funded trips actually benefited the island. Lee's response?
I agree with him on some of the new recommendations that he's proposing, and actually those are already enshrined in public law, and it's part of the Budget Act.
Senator Moylan explains his resolution to amend the legislature's standing rules on travel.
Again, this is taxpayers' dollars we're talking about. And so what this resolution is doing is just making it more transparent so that taxpayers can understand you went there, what did you do?
But Lee says, again, the rules already require such transparency, and other senators, including herself, have been following them.
We have to submit detailed travel reports that say where we're going, what the purpose of the trip is, meeting minutes, who we met with, after action items. Those are all things that many senators have submitted. They're all available online at our website in Messages and Communications. And so I'm confused, as maybe Senator Moylan was unaware that that's actually already our policy.
But Moylan still questions the $67,000 in legislative travel and more than $100,000 in administration travel for this year alone. He also has a bill to require the same travel transparency for the entire government with a focus on cutting costs.
Again, I'm not saying don't travel, but maybe also consider if there's other trips that we're gone to, could it have been done on a conference call? Could it have been done on the screen, like what a lot of people do now as well? If not, and it's a must, then go.
The two also took issue with each other, Moylan pointing out that Lee is the most traveled senator, Lee responding that she wears many hats.
I did take 4 trips last year. 2 of them were for APIL. 1 of them was to the UN because the governor was unable to attend. So I, as the vice chair, kind of stepped in and provided representation there. But I mean, it's part of my job.
Lee also noting that Moylan missed important votes during a legislative session that just happened to coincide with Super Bowl Monday.
I did take a trip. It was a long planned trip. Every trip I've taken since I've been senator is just on my expense only. So I reported to the speaker. Hey, Speaker, I'm off island. So, okay, you get excuse. Okay, thank you.
Again, if Senator Moylan has any issues and wants to make more stringent some of these things, I welcome him to do that and to bring it up at our next rules meeting, which happens every single month, and he's always invited.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Moving down in our rundown, same local government, different issue, as representatives from the public sector's sole health insurance provider, Aetna, will be at an informational briefing tomorrow that was called by the Speaker to hear concerns from the community face-to-face. Once again, here's Sabrina Salas-Methanani.
From one event to another,
The concern always comes up regarding the provider.
Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes says she's been inundated with multiple complaints with Aetna International.
Coverages on what can be covered, what was previously covered may not be covered today. What in as far as pricing, the amount of the service that's being provided, what the caps are, the the denials, the struggles of getting answers for specific medical concerns.
It was in September of last year the governor approved the Aetna contract. It marked the first time in more than 4 decades a non-incumbent carrier was awarded the government's single largest annual contract. The sole source contract and problems with Aetna has even prompted the Mayor's Council of Guam to approve a resolution requesting the Guam legislature to introduce legislation that would allow for GovGuam employees and retirees to have more than one choice for health and dental care. They're also hoping the governor will sign the bill and it be enacted as soon as next fiscal year. In the meantime, the speaker's briefing is scheduled for Friday at 5:30 p.m.
This is an opportunity for Aetna to present, as Aetna has not been a provider in the government in the past. And this is a time for them to share to the community how their service works. And I just want the people of Guam to know that if they have concerns, they can share it with us tomorrow. Aetna will be there, their people will be there, and we can facilitate moving forward.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
And also, Committee Chair on Health, Senator Therese Terlahi was only given a look at the Army Corps of Engineers draft report on the island's only public hospital. And despite her request and the multiple oversight hearings with GMH, she was not provided a copy. Terlahi has recently introduced another measure to aid GMH's pressing wounds. Here's Adriana Cotero with more.
Health Oversight Chair Senator Therese Terlahi says she understands the deference, but it's staggering.
To me, the earlier they know and the more they know what we're really looking at, and it's staggering. I think that's the only word I can use to describe it. It's, despite, the conditions, it's still staggering.
The report is currently being finalized by the Department of Interior and is expected to be released by the end of March. Senator Terlahi was not allowed to receive a copy of the assessment, and based off a look of the draft, Senator Terlahi tells KUAM it is consistent with the Army Corps of Engineers outbriefing they presented nearly 2 months ago.
They said we need to be prepared to stand this hospital up at a minimum 7 years while we either construct a new one or do the major reconstruction of the existing facility.
7 years to ensure the vital, crucial repairs are made. Senator Terlahi says the Army Corps of Engineers confirmed the serious problems include the roof, the HVAC system, the outlived electrical panel, and the most urgent matter, the outdated EMS system that's needed to maintain CMS accreditation. According to Senator Terlahi, preliminary reviews estimated the entire hospital repairs to cost over $700 million.
So it's something that I think we're going to really have to work together to address. But in the interim, even the interim price is so staggering. It's $21 million at least. So that's just to keep us in line with CMS, make sure we don't lose our accreditation.
In order to allocate the $21 million interim cost, Senator Terlahi has introduced Bill 294 for $11 million to come from fiscal year 2021 revenues.
Before we allocate one dime anywhere in this budget, we need to make sure the hospital is included. Now, if you looked at the executive budget request for the FY 2021, it's not in there. There's no capital improvements in there, and in fact, the hospital's operating budget was reduced compared to this year's budget.
As we've reported, Senator Terlahi's bill for $10 million from 2019 excess revenues to make sure the hospital's immediate needs are addressed for the next 7 years was unanimously passed by all the senators. However, Guam's Magahaga has put a halt on the law as Governor Lou Leon Guerrero wrote to the legislature that she has asked the Guam Economic Development Authority to consider finance options first.
If we get the 10 plus the 11, it's going to go a long ways, I think, if we can get it quick enough to make the repairs before we have another, or something goes wrong.
Rather than having a last-minute fight, Senator Terlahi says the amount should be incorporated first into the budget in advance of any budget deliberations that are expected to begin in the coming months. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Well, do stay tuned because it is time for a break, but Prime Time will continue right after these messages.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
at the mall as you enjoy your shopping, dining, or entertainment. You could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the renowned performance Chevrolet Camaro, the unapologetic rugged Toyota 4Runner, or the head-turning Lexus ES 350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines, plus prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. The more you shop, the more chance to win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
And girl, I hope you know that I am trying to do you better. I've been thinking of myself for too long. Just I mean, I'm selfish. Hey, hope you see my efforts. I'm doing extra, extra, extra. But you so lacking extra, extra, extra. I'm doing extra, extra, extra. But you so lacking.
Turn every day into an extra day. Receive 6% off your fuel purchase when you use your eligible Bank of Guam credit card at participating Shell locations. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, member FDIC.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back to Primetime, everybody. Their cases have been severed, although both Joshua Palacios and Thomas Taitano are scheduled to go to trial on the 23rd of March. Both men were arrested and charged for the homicide of Keith Castro, and during a status hearing today before Judge Vern Perez, only Taitano appeared, as it was stated that Palacios has been in the hospital for the past 5 days due to physical needs. Yet both defense counsels were present, as Taitano was charged with aggravated assault for using a metal baton with which to strike Taitano, while Palacios was charged with murder for fatally shooting Castro. Taitano's attorney, William Pohl, informed the court that the government has provided 5 pages of discovery, but they're still waiting for autopsy results and other witness reports. Palacios' attorney, Terrence Temblin, confirms they're also waiting for witness rap sheets, as he states they've only received one, naming Matthew Sablan. Temblin told the court he found out when the witnesses were interviewed, quite a few had outstanding warrants for their arrest. His Honor set the pretrial conference for March the 9th. A 37-year-old man, in other news, has been accused of attempted murder using a machete to attack a victim. 37-year-old Kenneth Jackson was arrested on charge of attempted murder, aggravated assault, and terrorizing, all with a special allegation and use of a deadly weapon. Police responded to the incident in Mingilao yesterday, where the victim confronted Jackson about a stolen bush cutter. Jackson then allegedly took a machete from his truck and told the victim he was going to kill him. He tried to stab the victim in the chest, but the victim dodged. He continued to swing the machete at the victim's head, but the victim was able to block the attempts with his hands and suffered lacerations on them. Police interviewed Jackson, who admitted he swung the machete but denied hurting the victim. Court documents state the victim deserved what he did to him. Also tonight, Assistant Federal Public Defender Leilani Lujan had to withdraw due to a conflict from Daryl Jake Guerrero's case. Judge Michael Berdallo assigned attorney Curtis Vandevelde to represent Guerrero, who was indicted for possession of 50 or more grams of meth with the intent to distribute. Guerrero was in the process of securing a potential third-party custodian to be placed on pretrial release, and before today's hearing, the Office of Probation filed a letter to the court recommending the defendant remain detained. Probation's investigations into the proposed third-party custodians determined that false information was provided to the officer regarding criminal history. In addition, there was no evidence of firearms being surrendered to the police, and one of the custodian's residents, there is a registered sex offender residing. Ultimately, the probation office did not approve either of the proposed custodial candidates. Guerrero was one of the 9 detainees represented by the Federal Public Defender's Office requesting a hearing on inhumane conditions at the downtown prison. A continued detention hearing was set for the 27th, with trial remaining scheduled for the end of March. Well, on Sunday, the 911 service received a call of a structure fall on Chalanguagua in Derido.
GFD PIO Charika Chargaloff says around 1:08 p.m. the call was made and units arrived to a wood and tin structure covered in flames. Residents needed to be evacuated with a pair of minors, 13 and 16, needed to be brought to the hospital for injuries they sustained while trying to control the fire. Dededo Mayor Melissa Savares says how her office is helping the family.
Our Sunday's fire, they're in the process of, we're accepting donations for them. There were 5 children and 3 adults, and they're right now working on the process for some type of housing assistance. But the different agencies that we usually work with are assisting as well at the same time.
Just this week alone, there have been 3 structure fires. On Monday, you might recall, units rushed to the Hemlani apartments here in Harmon. And in the early hours of Wednesday, another wood and tin structure in Talan Ibang, also in Dededo, were destroyed. Thankfully, there were no injuries in either incident. Well, if no cases of dengue fever arise by tomorrow, the governor will declare the threat is over. A total of 23 cases have been found, but no new ones have surfaced, and Friday will mark the 40th day. Coincidentally, Public Health held a news conference today to announce that it's received some 5,000 mosquito nets for the dengue mitigation effort. And even if the threat is declared to be over, the agency will go forward with the distribution of the nets. Director Linda Umpark says a public health outreach team will coordinate the effort.
They're also working with the Mayor's Council, all the mayors of every single village, and they have their teams all set up, just like the way they did the insecticide sprays that we distributed. They'll be assigned to specific locations throughout all the 19 villages. And then, of course, we'll also, on top of that, have the Homeless Coalition that will also be involved in the distribution of these nets.
DeNorsi says priority will be given to high-risk areas with the nets provided by the CDC and are made by Vestergaard, the world's leading producer of insecticidal nets. Moving on in other island news headlines, the Guam Election Commission has received the $28,000 that it needs to put on the special election for the village of Jotnya. Executive Director at the agency, Maria Pangilinan, tells us the governor used her transfer authority and sent the money over to the agency. At last check, a total of 8 people had picked up packets to fill the mayoral vacancy. But Pangilinan confirms, as of today, no one's officially filed for candidacy. The position, of course, became vacant after Jesse Blas resigned amid his legal problems. The deadline to file is on the 27th of this month, with the special election scheduled for March the 28th. The GEC will be holding a candidate seminar tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon, open to all potential candidates, if any of the various races up for election this year. Well, on Friday, the first of a 4-part roundtable series aiming to get to the bottom of our island's many social problems will be held. The series, titled Social Science Solutions to Drugs, Crime, and Other Problems, will be held throughout February and March, spearheaded by Senators Kelly Marsh-Taitano and Jose Pitos Terlahi. The former explains how the idea for the series came about.
I've spoken before about, I had a very complicated childhood. We were homeless at one point. I've unfortunately suffered different kinds of abuse. And that, with my social science background, it just really keeps at the forefront in my mind that we need to address some of these issues, and we need to find the answers wherever they may lie.
Confirming their attendance were representatives from the social work, political science communities, along with GDOE's Division of Chamorro Studies, and even the Commission on Decolonization. Senator Marsh-Taitano explained she threw out a very wide net when securing participants.
I've read studies specifically for Guam, and I think we need to have many more studies that are specific to us so we understand ourselves and our dynamics more so. But our history and those events, they actually impact the type of social issues that we have.
The roundtable begins at 4 in the afternoon and should go for about 90 minutes at the Guam Congress Building downtown. The public is more than invited to attend. And also tonight, the 2020 Assembly of Planners Symposium of Planners, that makes sense, was held today. The 5th annual event was hosted by the Bureau of Stats and Plans. Here's the agency's director, Tyrone Taitano.
What it does is bring together elements of the planning community from both the public and private sectors, not only government agencies, but also our federal partners, such as NOAA, in order to focus on serious planning issues that are before the community, such as flooding, such as climate change, such as land use, and a whole host of other issues, and allow an opportunity not only for people to learn about these issues and have an exchange of dialogue, but also, in the process, he'll help arrive at solutions for it.
The theme of this year's symposium, or symposia, depending on how many sessions you attended, was creating a clear vision with a changing climate. Well, please stay tuned. After the break, Dave Delgado with sports.
Make every day a plus.
In 2019, we raised the bar by launching the first ever lifetime powertrain warranty on new Hyundais. And now we're excited to share that starting February 1st, all new 2020 Jeeps, Ram trucks, and Dodge Performance cars will come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. That includes all your favorites like the Jeep Gladiator and award-winning Ram 1500.
So come on over to Cars Plus and experience what makes us different, like our homegrown culture, state-of-the-art facility, world-class products, and unparalleled value.
Mabuhay! Ako po si Senator Regine Bisco-Lee. Generations of Filipinos have come to Guam and helped build our island community, and we have so much more to contribute. Kung may tinanim, may aanihin. Ngayong taon, may pagkakataon tayong ipahayag muli ang pinagkakaiba-iba ng ating isla. Kaya tayo po'y magkaisa para sa 2020 Census ng Guam. Ito ay makakatulong sa paglikha ng mga trabaho at sa maraming tao na nangangailangan. Let's help shape our future for a better Guam. Maraming salamat po.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to get your tickets now for the FIBA Asia Cup 2021 qualifiers. Guam versus New Zealand game going down this Sunday at the UOG Cowboy Fieldhouse. I'll get to info on that in just a bit. But first off, this week's Game Changer. Check it out. Undersized but determined best describes Simon Sanchez rugby player Alexis Velbon. Alexis started running track her freshman year and picked up on rugby when she was a sophomore. After getting cut from the basketball team, she was motivated to train harder and focused more on rugby. Now in her senior season with the Lady Sharks, Alexis has come a long way.
When I first played rugby, I was so scared because, I'm small and skinny. And on the field, when I made my first tackle, I felt like I wanted to hit again. Being on the field, it made me confident.
With that confidence, she has helped the Simon Sanchez Sharks to a 4-4-1 record this rugby season and is holding on to 4th place. The Sharks lack size on the pitch, but make it up with their heart. Communication has been key for Alexis and her team in staying on top of their conditioning to outlast the bigger teams they face.
Before practice starts, we lift weights in the gym, and there's some days where on the field we practice and we do a lot of cardio. And my team, we may be small, but we work twice as hard on the practices and in the games too. And that doesn't stop us from improving.
Alexis is a mid-distance runner for the track and field team, competing in the 200 meters, 400 meters, and 100-meter hurdles. Sanchez placed 3rd at last year's All-Island meet held at JFK. She says her best event is the 100-meter hurdles with a PR of 20.27.
Being a shark has always been in my blood, especially when my sisters graduated, and representing it feels like like I feel noticed. I feel not just me, but everyone in Sam Sanchez.
Velbon thanks her coaches for pushing her and getting her prepared mentally and physically to play fly half. Alexis has scored 6 tries through 9 games played this year, making the best out of every opportunity given.
It just feels great having the ball in your possession and breaking through gaps and running on the outside to the try, like you're feeling noticed.
When she's not playing games, you can find Alexis fundraising for school activities and lending a hand with the track and rugby clubs. She's helped with coastal cleanups and assists in 5Ks for the running club.
Giving back to the community is a great experience to help those who are in need, and being able to meet new people in the island of Guam. It really shows how considerate and how active you are to your community.
Whether giving it her all on the rugby pitch or out helping with nonprofit organizations, Alexis Vilbon gives back to the community, and that's what makes her a game changer. Make sure to come out and support the Guam vs. New Zealand FIBA Asia Cup game Sunday at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Doors open at 3 in the afternoon. Tip-off is scheduled for 5 p.m. Tickets are available at all Foodies locations or online at ctickets.us/GBC2020 for $20 in advance. Team Guam is currently riding an undefeated 24-0 win streak dating back to the 2018 Micronesian Games. Guam ran the tables in Yap and swept the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers held in Thailand and is back-to-back Pacific Games gold medalist. Come out and witness history as the Bank of Guam men's national basketball team looks to advance in the FIBA Asia Cup 2021 qualifiers.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone.
My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before, it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour, so that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Why are you rolling your eyes? So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Here are your birthday shoutouts.
February the 20th means we are now 51 days into 2020. So, on February 20th, happy birthday to Ziona Sky Palacios Munya. Happy birthday number 12 to our princess Ziona Sky. And this comes from your wonderful, loving family. Mom, Dad, and everyone that you're related to sends a special heart emoji. The one with like the 3 different colors of pink and the red in the middle, that's extra special. Congratulations and happy birthday number 12, Ziona Sky. And happy birthday number 9 to Jaylee Santos. Your family, friends, relatives, and everyone around the world is wishing you the very best and wishes you a happy 9th birthday. So, to Ziona Sky, Jaylee, and everyone around the world who had a birthday today, we hope you had the best day ever.
Please stay tuned. In the Mix is next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business save money.